45-year-old North Carolina woman and her 25-year-old son have been arrested for having sex with each other, police said. Melissa Nell Kitchens allegedly had sex with Sean Thomas Pfeiffer sometime last month, according to a police spokeswoman. The mother and son, both of Asheville, were arrested last week and face felony incest charges, which could land them in jail up to 3 years. In addition to incest charges, Sean Pfeiffer faces charges of indecent liberties with a child.
Dressed alike in Superman shirts, mother and daughter are booked into the Stevens County Jail.
So wait. They married each other?
If they're in their right mind to marry their mom.
The mother and daughter married each other?
Yeah.
Huh.
Patricia and Misty Spann married earlier this year. A DHS and police investigation revealed this pair is actually mother and daughter, blood relatives who somehow married in Comanche County. Patricia Spann lost custody of Misty and 2 other children when they were young. They're adopted by their grandmother. Patricia Spann insisted to investigators she didn't have contact with her kids until 2 years ago. And when she reunited with Misty Spann, her daughter, they hit it off.
Scientists say early experiments suggest it may one day be possible to make babies without using eggs. The findings in Nature Communications could, in the distant future, mean women can be removed from the baby-making process, say the researchers. In other words, 2 men could have a child, with one donating an ordinary cell and the other, sperm. Professor Robin Lovelbach, from the Francis Crick Institute, commented, "I'm not surprised that the authors are excited about this."
A homeless man staying at the Joy Junction shelter allegedly raped a woman on several occasions and told deputies it was his right from the Bible to do so. But because of a paperwork snafu, he has gotten out of jail. Ian McCann was in court just this morning facing 2 counts of rape. Bernalillo County Sheriff's deputies say they were called when McCann tried to pull the woman behind a dumpster at Joy Junction to rape her. The deputies say when they questioned McCann, he said he thought rape was legal. And he told them the Bible told him that no woman can deny him.
A lot of debate and controversy. The State Board of Education approved a list of new guidelines to help schools create a better environment for LGBTQ students. It urges schools to work to protect lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender students from harassment. The board also supports the formation of gays straight alliance clubs. And the guidelines call for transgender students to have access to bathrooms and locker rooms based on gender identity.
The bathroom battle may also be coming to churches in Massachusetts. A new law forbids discrimination on the basis of gender identity in public places, including churches. It could discourage churches from hosting events tailored to the public. The measure goes into effect October 1st, 2 years before the state would get a chance to vote on it. But opponents are racing to repeal the law by October 6.
Describing them as undesirable persons who criticize homosexuality and promote hate speech, South Africa banned a controversial American pastor and his associates from visiting.
Gay SA Radio initiated the 60,000 signatures petition to deny Anderson entry.
Today we took a giant leap forward. By denying this group of people who have nothing but hate towards the LGBTI community a foothold in this country, we are the shining example that the world will not come to an end when 2 people of the same sex love each other, when they marry, when they have children and live their lives like normal people.
Banned from the UK, banned from South Africa. You know, where will I be banned next? But at the end of the day, the truth is still getting out all over the world through the internet. You know, millions of people in South Africa are hearing about this, and many of them are downloading the preaching. And so praise the Lord. We're still continuing on for his honor and glory, and very excited about the soul winning marathon and the church starting up in Botswana. So God bless you. Have a great day.
Tonight, another confirmed case of hand, foot, and mouth disease at Florida State University. We first told you yesterday how the rare outbreak has already infected around 24 students.
Students first started showing up with the unusual disease at the FSU Wellness Center on Monday.
Blisters on hands and some students that had blisters on their feet. And we normally see this in daycare centers.
After Tuesday brought new cases, the university canceled fraternity and sorority rush events scheduled that night.
I don't know if they expected it to be gone overnight, but, activities resumed last night and rush is back and better than ever, I guess.
The vast majority of students we talked to were aware of the virus and what to do.
It's kind of contagious, really contagious. That's all I know.
And they told you to wash your hands. What have they told you?
Just sanitizer.
So once you spray it, you can wipe it right away.
The best advice is to clean with a bleach solution diluted 9-to-1 with water. There were no new cases Wednesday, but Thursday did bring another case.
It's nothing that is life-threatening.
The university has asked if the outbreak could be in any way related to a sewage spill that took place as Hurricane Hermine was hitting the state capital. They have not gotten a definitive answer.
The Lamar County school system taking drastic steps after dozens of students became sick this week. Calvin Reynolds explains how the system is coping with the sick out.
The parking lot of South Lamar is almost empty. Students were given excused absences if they didn't want to attend class today to stop an illness from spreading.
We had a number of students that had stomach virus type symptoms that were not in school.
Principal Jason Williams says it affected students at every level of the pre-K through 12th grade school and some teachers and staff. State health officials confirmed 19 students were out sick Tuesday with symptoms including vomiting and diarrhea. Wednesday, that number jumped to more than 100. Margaria Harton's family decided her sister wouldn't attend school today because of the sickness.
They were just concerned about why they were sick, so many got so sick.
A cleanup crew was inside the school overnight, mopping floors and wiping down doorknobs and handrails. Williams says they're taking steps to stop it from spreading.
Just moving forward, just trying to protect our kids.
The ducks were found overnight Tuesday in Union County. A rescue group has been out to the ponds to try to gather the ducks.
It's a heartbreaking sight. The sick duck is struggling next to another that's already dead. More than 40 have died in the past couple of days here in Union County.
It's very hard to see one bird die, but when you see birds in mass die, it's very upsetting.
Nancy Rigsby loves all birds and volunteers at Carolina Waterfowl Rescue, where some of the ducks were taken. All have been mallards.
It's very unsettling. You worry about disease, infectious things that could go through a whole population.
The rescue's director took the dead birds to a state agriculture lab Wednesday. She says none of the ducks tested positive for any diseases, so what's killing the birds?
The conclusion from our director in the lab is that it was likely botulism.
I found some other ducks that had either died or were sick at some private ponds outside of Indian Trail. The rescue director says botulism comes in different forms and warns against pets or other animals coming in contact with any birds that are dead or sick.
According to a new study, as well as a warning released Thursday by the CDC, the presence of backyard and pet chickens in the United States introduces a higher risk for salmonella outbreaks. Although salmonella is often transmitted through food, direct and indirect exposure to animals can also help it spread. And since a growing number of people have started keeping chickens at their homes, adults and children that keep live chickens around have increasingly been linked to multi-state outbreaks. The study adds that many of the chicken owners who have contacted salmonella are new to keeping chickens and have had them for less than a year, causing researchers to conclude that some of the problem is that people don't know the risks of caring for them.
We may well be on the height of the 6th mass extinction event in Earth's history. We are very likely heading for another such event, only instead of a mass asteroid sterilizing the Earth, it's us. A new study to be published in the September 16th issue of the journal Science shows that humans are causing catastrophic changes to the global ecosystem. The study lead, Jonathan Payne of Stanford, said, "There is no past even that looks biologically like what's happening today. The oceans, it seems, were safe for a time. Their sheer scale and abundance of life made it hard for early humans to tap the seas like we did the land. But now that we have fishing boats, nets, and harpoons, we're rapidly consuming the largest animals in the sea. However, there is a small glimmer of hope. As with global warming, we have the ability to stop this trend, but given how much progress we've made on the front over the past 30 years, chances are slim to none.
The outlook is not good for our water-starved state. A new study by UCLA says that global warming could make the current drought last for a century. Researchers say that trapped greenhouse gases in our atmosphere create hot and dry conditions. And as the levels of gases rise, we will see less snowfall and rain. Scientists warn that similar conditions made some ancient droughts last for 1,000 years.
Demonstrating capabilities that ultimately we may need to deflect an asteroid on a collision course with the Earth. This is a hazard that 65 million years ago the dinosaurs succumbed to. We have to be smarter than the dinosaurs.
Shocking images have emerged of a malnourished child reduced to little more than skin and bones at a hospital in war-torn Yemen. A warning, you may find the following images disturbing. You can see the boy on the hospital bed extremely malnourished. And we'll bring you up another image of the child sitting next to his mother, wearing nothing more than a nappy and a bandage. But Abdullah is far from the only one. Since the start of this war and the Saudi-led coalition's incursion, Yemen has been plunged into a horrific humanitarian crisis, with children suffering the most.
Brutal attack on a police officer near New York City's Madison Square Garden. Investigators say an NYPD officer was attacked Thursday with a meat cleaver by 32-year-old Akram Judeh. The officer sustained a 6-inch gash on his face as a result of this attack. Now, you heard shots being fired. The suspect was hit.
Here on the Greek island of Chios, a demonstration by local residents against the government's handling of the migrant crisis turned violent. Supporters of the ultra-right-wing Golden Dawn Party were reportedly involved in the protest. Locals are angry over the rising number of petty crimes committed by stranded migrants. Police fired tear gas when some 150 protesters marched to the island's refugee camp, chanting anti-migrant slogans and singing the Greek national anthem. According to the Greek government, more than 13,000 people are housed on Greek island facilities built to house fewer than 8,000. In total, there are over 60,000 refugees and migrants in the country. Most want to travel to Germany. About 80 Germans have clashed with a group of 20 asylum seekers in the town of Bautzen in the east of the country. Local reports say the Germans were mostly from far-right political groups. They were heard chanting nationalist slogans. Police officers who tried to intervene were attacked with bottles and sticks. It's not the first time Bautzen has seen racist incidents and clashes between migrants and right-wing extremists. In February, onlookers celebrated as a fire ripped through a former hotel that was being converted into a shelter for refugees. The local mayor has condemned the violence.
You still have a piece of tape over your cameras
Heck
at
yeah.
home.
Heck yeah. And I get mocked for a lot of things, much mocked for that. But I hope people lock their cars. I don't have my own car that I drive, but I'm sure we lock our FBI cars. Lock your doors at night. I have an alarm system. You have an alarm system. You should use it. I use mine. It's not crazy that the FBI director cares about personal security as well. And so I think people ought to take responsibility for their own safety and security. And there's some sensible things you ought to be doing, and that's one of them. You go in any government office, we all have our little camera things that sit on top of the screen. They all have a little lid that closes down on them. You do that so that people who don't have authority don't look at you. I think that's a good thing.
Self-checkout tills. Haven't they made a huge difference to your business? Reducing waiting times, giving your colleagues more time to help customers and keep the shelves as stocked as they can be. But at busy times, you still get queues. Customers still get frustrated. And verifying the age of customers buying age-related goods is often the biggest cause of the problem. So what do? You could put more colleagues on the static tills, but that would make the store less efficient.
Excuse me? Sorry. Won't let me pay? Thanks.
But it doesn't have to be this way. Let's apply some fresh ideas from Fujitsu and see how we can make the queues shorter. This time, your customers have registered their identity using Fujitsu's palm vein technology. So when the till realizes that the customer is buying age-related goods, all he has to do is verify his identity using the palm of his hand. Then he can carry on.
Patrick Kramer, German professor, has presented bioimplantable NFC chip during the Black Sea Summit 2016 held recently in Ukraine. According to the newsbtc.com, implantable device will provide an opportunity to store valid information beneath the skin.
No,